The price of gas continues to climb. Americans are wondering how they'll adjust, and in most cases, who or what is to blame. Fingers being pointed at a number of targets, including the situation in Ukraine, also the oil companies, restrictions on oil and gas drilling, clean energy development, plus the governor and President Biden. Joining us this morning live via Zoom from Sacramento to share his insight, Kevin Slagel with the Western States Petroleum Association. Kevin, thanks for joining us this morning.
You bet. Good morning.
First of all, I know without getting too deep, what in your view is fueling this price spike?
It's uncertainty, and the uncertainty of the market began months ago as the world began to see what was happening in Ukraine with Russia. And so the uncertainty of those times began months ago. That began to affect the markets, and certainly we're seeing that now, and we'll probably experience it in the weeks and months ahead.
Any idea on how high this will go?
I can't speculate on where these costs may go, but certainly experts all around the country are saying we should probably expect even higher costs. Where that may be, I don't know. But what we hope we can do is start looking at some solutions to those high prices.
Now, we have heard that Russia importing oil into the U.S., from Russia importing it, and numbers anywhere from 6% to 10%. What is actually their influence on all of this?
Well, whatever the percentage is, it affects the global markets. And if it affects the global markets, it certainly affects us here in California. So whatever those numbers are, it's going to go back again, create that uncertainty that causes prices to spike and change and move in funny ways. And that's why we're very focused on how do we solve that issue? How do we have better energy security? And frankly, you can start right there in Kern County. There's 1,000 permits sitting in the Newsom administration's offices that could be signed, that would get wells up and going here very shortly and actually contribute to lower costs and energy security that we need in this country.
Now, the governor is slated to make his State of the State address tonight. Do you expect him to address any of that tonight?
Well, we would sure hope so, because certainly the prices at the pump and really across the board for Californians are significant, and they're hurting everyday families. And so we'd hope to hear something from the governor about this. We'd hope he would look at our energy situation here, California being an energy island, and act to get these permits off the desks, out in the fields, and let us start producing the fuels that we need here in state and not have to import them from other places from around the world.
Now, does California have enough refinery capacity to make up the difference from what we might lose from Russia?
Yeah, certainly. What the issue here is a supply issue. And, in California, every barrel produced in California is used in our refineries here in California. So if it's not produced here under the toughest environmental regulations in the world, it's coming in from foreign sources. So if we could produce more here in state, in Kern County, we get to the refineries in California, and that would decrease our dependence on foreign oil coming from places like Russia.
Well, see, people have also mentioned the state's gas tax, more than $1 a gallon. Do you see the governor moving on that at all to sort of to sort of ease the price?
Well, the first $1.27 per gallon we pay right now in California goes to taxes and regulatory fees. So when you look at filling up with 20 gallons, that's a significant amount of taxes and regulatory dollars, going to the state government. So there are things that governor could do. They've talked about the gas tax. They've talked about that federally. All those things may provide some temporary relief, which could be helpful. But what we really, again, need to look at is our long-term strategy, our plans to, as we add more renewable and sustainable energy resources, how do we also provide affordable, reliable energy that our industry provides, for decades to come? So there's a balance there. And what we really need is some planning and some thought on realistically how do we do the things we need to do moving forward.
And we're showing a tweet right there from Elon Musk that says, hate to say it, but we need to increase oil and gas output immediately. Will that have any impact?
Well, he's got 80 million Twitter followers and is one of the most influential people today. So I would suspect that people will think about that. And he's not wrong. More production in California and the United States means more energy security and being less susceptible to the uncertainty that we talked about earlier and what's going around the world. So it was good to see him tweet that.
Kevin Slagel with the Western States Petroleum Association. Appreciate you coming by this morning and sharing your insight.
You bet. Good talking to you.